The year 1901, a new century began. It was a time of great change and progress. The world was on the cusp of a new era. Technological advancements were rapidly transforming society. The echoes of the 19th century lingered, but a new spirit of innovation and possibility filled the air. January 1901, in particular, stood as a testament to this transition, a month brimming with milestones and innovations that would shape the course of the 20th century. In the United States, the construction of the iconic dome of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. continued. This architectural marvel, a symbol of American democracy, was nearing completion, its gleaming white dome reaching towards the sky. The Capitol's progress represented the nation's own aspirations for a bright future. Across the Atlantic, Great Britain mourned the passing of their beloved Queen Victoria. Her reign, spanning over 6 decades, had come to an end. The Victorian era, with its rigid social structures and imperial grandeur, was fading into history. A new century brought with it a new king, Edward VII, and the promise of change for the vast British Empire. Meanwhile, in South Africa, the Boer War raged on. The conflict pitting the British Empire against the Boer republics had entered its 3rd year. The war exposed the brutality of colonialism and the fierce resistance it engendered. The battles fought in January 1901 would have lasting consequences for the region and the British Empire as a whole. The construction of monumental buildings continued to captivate the world's imagination in January 1901. These projects were not merely feats of engineering, but powerful symbols of progress and national pride. They reflected the ambition and optimism that characterized the dawn of the 20th century. In the United States, the Capitol dome's construction was a source of national pride. Each stone laid, each iron beam hoisted into place brought the project closer to its grand completion. The dome, visible from miles around, served as a constant reminder of the nation's capital and the ideals it represented. Across the Atlantic, the Eiffel Tower, completed in 1889, stood as a testament to the architectural prowess of France. The tower, initially met with mixed reviews, had quickly become a beloved Parisian landmark. Its intricate iron latticework and soaring height captivated visitors from around the globe, symbolizing the innovative spirit of the age. These architectural marvels, each unique in design and purpose, shared a common thread. They represented humanity's ability to conceive and construct structures of immense scale and complexity. These buildings served as enduring symbols of progress, inspiring awe and wonder in all who beheld them. The death of Queen Victoria on January 22, 1901, cast a long shadow over the British Empire. Her reign, the longest in British history, had defined an era. Victoria's steadfastness, her embodiment of Victorian values, had provided a sense of stability and continuity for her subjects. The period of mourning following her death was profound. Images of the Queen, draped in black, filled newspapers and shop windows. Her funeral procession, a somber spectacle of pomp and ceremony, drew crowds of mourners from all walks of life. The nation bid farewell to a beloved monarch, their Queen Empress. Victoria's passing marked the end of an era. The Victorian age, with its strict social mores and emphasis on duty and empire, was giving way to the uncertainties of a new century. The Edwardian era, named for her son and successor, King Edward VII, promised to be a time of social and cultural change. The world watched as Great Britain transitioned to a new era. The impact of Victoria's reign, however, extended far beyond her own shores. Her empire, vast and powerful, had shaped global politics and culture for decades. The legacy of her reign would continue to be felt throughout the 20th century and beyond. While the world mourned the passing of Queen Victoria, the Boer War raged on in South Africa. The conflict, which had begun in 1899, pitted the British Empire against the 2 Boer republics, the South African Republic, also known as Transvaal, and the Orange Free State. The war was brutal and costly for both sides. The Boers, skilled guerrilla fighters, proved to be a formidable enemy for the British. January 1901 witnessed several key battles, including the Battle of Lindley, which resulted in a Boer victory. The fighting continued, with neither side gaining a decisive advantage. The Boer War had far-reaching consequences. It exposed the limitations of British military might and fueled anti-imperialist sentiment around the world. The conflict also had a profound impact on the civilian population of South Africa. Thousands of Boers were displaced from their homes and placed in concentration camps, where disease and malnutrition were rampant. The war dragged on, a bloody stalemate in the South African veldt. It would be another 2 years before a peace treaty was finally signed, formally ending British hostilities with the Boer republics. The war's legacy, however, would continue to shape the political and social landscape of South Africa for generations to come.